I was raised on the reserve White Bear First Nation with a population of roughly 800 band members living on the reserve. Then 15 minutes from White Bear, you have the small oil and farming community of Carlisle, Saskatchewan, with a population of roughly 1,500 people. So after my mom got the green light to send me to public school, I was then going to be removed from going to school at the special needs school in Regina, which I was super thrilled about. One thing I remember the most about entering public school and grade 1 itself was the amount of attention that I got from my classmates and how they just adored me and loved me and wanted to push me in my wheelchair, walk alongside me in my walker, and help me out in any way that they could. So in my own little right from grades 1 to 4, I was a little celebrity. And that was quite enjoyable, to be honest with you. So when it came to grades 5 and 6 and on, I know myself, I was trying to navigate adolescence and puberty and questioning where I fit in, who I fit in with, what was my, so to speak, clique. And to be honest with you, I didn't have outside friends.
My name is Michelle Amy. I taught Leonda grade 10, 11, and 12 English. When Leonda entered high school in grade 7, she was somebody I targeted for the SRC because the leadership team I was running was very highly involved in trying to be inclusive. And when Leonda entered the school, she was a very friendly young lady. She didn't seem to have a peer group at the time or best friends to lean on. She did have her family group, but everyone needs a soft place to land. So I had targeted her to be part of the teen council because I thought she had a lot of gifts there. I would take field trips to things like leadership conferences, which were very motivational for students and very important for them to learn the skills of leadership as well. So her mom, Angie, and I went way back, considering that I used to teach at White Bear, and so Angie had a long history with who I was, and I think in a certain point trusted me. We had several arguments over the years, but Angie always had the best intentions and protection of her children at heart.
I'm Darcy Howe. I'm Vice Principal at Gordon F. Kells High School in Carlisle, Saskatchewan.
Leonda struggled with some things, but we made sure that she had all the adaptations that she needed in order to get where she needed to be.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Worthman, and I taught Leonda in English year 7 and art in year 8 and 9. With Leonda coming to myself and other teachers for support and developing a friendly relationship with her teachers would be related to a lot of times, I think, adults would be more understanding of her situation and what she was going through, and having had personal life experiences of dealing with those things too and knowing what it's like, or we had that knowledge as adults to do that.
I am Donna Beaver, and I taught Leonda math, mostly grade 7, 8, 9. I don't remember the specific incident, or I do remember you reporting an incident.
For whatever reason, I was the main target that day. 2 of them put each foot on each side of my wheel so I couldn't move. And I'd reach down to undo my brake because they put my brake on. Nudged me just on the back. And it was enough of a nudge to push me out of my chair. I had fell, and I got back into my chair as quick as I could. And I was crying, I was in tears, so they had decided to back off.
Poured your heart out to me. You told me what happened. You told me how it made you feel. You were very upset, very open and honest about it. And in sharing your feelings with me. I believe you were probably in grade 9 or 10 at the time. I asked you if you felt brave enough to share how you felt with the main instigator, and I'm pretty sure your first response was absolutely not. I could never do that. But I just knew that you had a voice.
I knew from day one that she had so much potential. It was just herself holding herself back and thinking she couldn't, or we knew she could. So we made sure that we gave her every opportunity we could.
And so I said, I promised I would keep you safe and I would be there with you. And I knew that you needed to learn to use your voice.
That's where Donna said, you just let it out. You tell them, I hate my life already as is. Do you think my life is easy? Do you think I have it easy? And then I come to school and I have to deal with the bullying, with you guys, with everyone around me.
You spoke up to the young lad and what you had to live with, and he heard you. And I was proud of you. Like, I mean, you were so brave to do that. And, you know, not everybody could do that, disability or not. Like, this was beyond the disability. This was being a regular human being. Like,
we had that knowledge as adults to do that I think probably in, you know, high school and primary school, a lot of kids don't have those experience or enough skill to understand as well. So I think that would be why Leonda came to us more so than going to her peers.
With that being said, there's only so much that a teacher could do for me.
Hello, my name is Will Elliott, and I taught Leonda information processing and senior sciences. To be honest, bullying is very much like an iceberg. Most of it is underneath the surface and you don't see it. So as a teacher, I feel kind of powerless to do anything about it because the students really don't talk.
Because of being so loud and personable, that also got me in trouble as well. December 9th, 2004. If anyone ever asked, I would deny that I sent you this. You see, because for a long time, you have ruined my life, and you have ruined the lives of many. How can you go around with a smile on your face when people stare at you in public? How do you do it when you're a freak?
I couldn't imagine going through those years. For whatever reasons they did target you, whether, you know, did they target you because you had a physical disability? Did they target you because you required some extra help? Did they, you know, for whatever reason, it's disappointing. I can't imagine what you did feel like. And then to be bullied about it or in spite of it, like you said to me, you felt vulnerable walking down the hallway. It makes me sad for you that you had to endure that. On top of, you know, trying to figure out who you were.
Yeah. I was told during this docu-series, during this process, that if I wasn't so loud and outgoing, and if I didn't tell on my bulliers or when I was picked on or teased or whatever, maybe I would have had friends. Maybe I would have had a social life. Maybe if I was tougher enough, I would have been more accepted in school by my peers and my classmates. And that to me hit hard, to be honest with you.
her room was downstairs. And when I went into her room, she was just so quiet, sitting on the floor. And she had already made a little attempt, and she was crying. And I told her, "What are you doing? I don't want to be around here." And I felt so helpless. The thing I could do is to show her that I loved her.
I met Leonda in the hallway of Gordon F. Kells High School. My husband, Don, was the principal there then. I know him enough to know how much he loved life, and he was the most hopeful person I know. So if Leonda was in a place where death looked like the only option for her, or an option for her, he would have wanted to swoop in immediately and fix that yesterday. And I know that he would have felt devastated for Leonda's mom, Angeline, whom he respected so much for her dedication, getting all of those kids ready for school every day so that they could have opportunities that she hadn't been able to have. And I know that as a parent himself, he knew that he couldn't be everything and everyone to his own boys. So he knew that for Leonda, she would need something more. She'd need support, she'd need counseling, anything that was needed to help her in that situation. He would have made sure that she had access to and that she would get that help. And recognizing all is not fine. It's a hard admission to make, when something like this happens. It's not fine, and we need to support in whatever ways that we can.
My name is Shelley Slykos, and I have been a friend of the family for years. Leonda went to school with my children through the elementary school program and through the Gordon F. Kells High School.
I met Leonda in 2006, where we were both attending a personal self-development course called Choices. Choices changed my life as far as realizing that we are all a little bit broken, but this is what makes us unique, and Choices helped equip us with tools to work through these hurts and empower us to be the best versions of ourselves.
We went to Calgary. It is about how we got to where we are today and how to let go of that, or I cannot heal or change what I do not acknowledge. And that helped us to understand what our purpose is so we can move forward. I've seen over the years it helped many people mentally, physically, possibly with Leonda, who she was, what she has to deal with. It probably did help her a lot, emotionally and spiritually.
14, 15, 16, those are very vulnerable stages because you want to grow up, you want to be an adult, you want to be known to the world, but yet you're still a child. You still have a lot of growing up to do. So I was dealing with a lot of emotional, physical stress. I got to let out everything that I was carrying in my life. I was 17 when I went to this self-help program, and there I got to just let every negative hurt out, suicide, the negative thoughts that I was carrying with me on a daily basis. That was kind of like a graduation of all the counseling, out of all the sadness and the negativity and the bullying and everything. My grade 12 years where I shined.
Leonda's my bestest friend. She's very nice.
Wanting to say good morning and make sure that she checked in with people to see that they were having a good day.
Hey, Mr. Hal.
What do you want to know?
I don't know.
That your sweetheart?
Yes, and?
Don't eat yellow snow.
Leonda is one of the few who phones on a very regular basis to check in, to ask for advice, to offer advice, to just have a few laughs over the time. And I really appreciate that. She's particularly adept at maintaining connections to people in the past.
Day of seeing Leonda until Monday.
Oh, hi, Leonda.
Hey,
I'm saying hi because it's your team. How's that?
Thank you, Australia.
You're welcome.
It's fun to see her grow and experience life as an adult.
Just still be friends to this day. And throughout life, we can always learn something from everyone. I've learned to share love, you and your big heart and hugs, and you learned the ability, or you had it in you to be a shining light for others. I've learned that from you.
There were times when one did all they could to overlook a person's disability. So we'll just pretend it's not there, and I'll just treat her like any other friend I would. But that, I think, doesn't acknowledge the opportunities and the greatness it is to be someone who isn't just like everybody else. We're all different. We're all different. And I love that Leonda is not defined by her cerebral palsy. She is resilient, and she acts with purpose and determination. And I think some of these things wouldn't have happened if she wasn't someone who had cerebral palsy. I think that her, far from being defined by it, I think that she has used her person to be an encouragement to so many others.
So I do think that Leonda definitely paved the way, or had a big influence on how people within the school, both teachers and students, engaged with students with disabilities, being one of the first that I'm aware of that had a significant visible disability, and was able to demonstrate that she was a student in many ways, just like anybody else.
Are visited by royalty, Princess Leonda Sunny Dawn Aiken is the daughter of the most proud parents in the world, Angeline Medstar and Harvey Aiken. She is escorted by a handsome and charming man and one of her best friends. On her right is the one and only Donnie Lethbridge, and on her left is her very proud stepfather, Edward Sandy.
I remember when Leo asked me to be her grad escort. I was greatly honored by that. She explained to me how she wanted help getting out of her wheelchair, and that it was that moment as she bravely walked down to get her diploma that I knew she could overcome any obstacle life had to throw at her. I applaud Leo for being vulnerable in order to allow others to be a part of this very personal journey with her in this docu-series, which I'm sure she will continue to inspire others.
And I want to see the video that she promised me she would find and get to me. Her graduation, when, you know, I think through the years she thought maybe this community wasn't accepting and loving her, but her grad, when, you know, the standing ovation, wow, that doesn't happen just everywhere.
No.
Those are some big, big things.
Over the years in high school, Leonda has been known as the spirit of the school, and in 2003 she was recognized for all the hugs and smiles that she brought with her, and that school year she won the award, the Esprit de Corps. There were many hardships that Leonda endured, but with the encouragement and guidance of her mother Angeline and her school mother Mary Lynn, Leonda is here today with her proud family on her mother's side and her father's side. Leonda has applied to a college in Brandon and has been accepted. Although this is another bird leaving the nest, and Leonda is anxious to try out her wings, Leonda would like to give her most gracious thanks to all her elementary school teachers and high school teachers for their encouragement and support. Leonda, I'm going to miss all the adventures we've had together over the years. It's been a great ride, Princess. You bounce good.
Because I knew the whole time that you could. You could, you would, and you have, and you will continue to do so.
Leonda traveled, she was the only student, in fact, traveled all the way to Regina General, where Dawn was on the oncology ward. She had a little bit of alone time with Dawn, and that meant a lot to Dawn. It meant a lot to me.
Don was kind of like a dad to me, just the way he saw things. He was very accepting of everyone. He was always in it for the underdog, and that was a hard thing sometimes, because it's hard to save everyone. It's hard to save everyone, and he went to bat for a lot of people.